Hi, this is Shadi. Today I'm going to be discussing the national championship that happened this morning in Japan, and I gotta say, I am so happy to see this type of judo. The offensive, constantly on the move, and the lines between the ground and the stand up are just so blurred. The transitions are seamless. It is so good to see this type of judo. You don't see people just so immersed in gripping and then you see some underwhelming attack. It's always great to see Japanese compete regardless of who they are, famous or not. And today I'm going to show some things that I have seen that really caught my eye. But of course, before we do any of that, don't forget to check out my book and my Patreon below. Your support is greatly appreciated. So as you can see here immediately, once they get their preferred grip, the attack is inevitable. And this is something that you want to see, people who are constantly attacking, constantly on the move, not necessarily throwing, but also just getting to the attack, whether it is nagewaza or katamewaza. Here, for example, look at the transitions. He dropped, it failed, he turned him over, he is now pinning, the other one is now playing guard, trying to sweep. You see, goes back and forth between the two. It is truly something. If you watch the entire competition, it is always on the run, always on the move. And here, look at this underhook Uchimata by Abe. I know I don't give him a lot of credit, but here you can see curves up his palm and then immediately goes in for that Uchimata. Now, underhook is very misunderstood in judo. A lot of people, when they're trying to pass their exam, they just post their palm on the back of the shoulder and then just do the form, and then the jury will pass them. However, let's take a look at the underhook. It serves a big purpose in unbalancing, and here it's not just posting, but it's actually curving upward and diagonally almost before the rotation of the hips. The rotation of the hips really solidifies the unbalancing, but before that, please check out the palm. So here, look at that lift. It's very subtle, but it's there. It's diagonal, it's that palm doing that little curve with the wrist, and as you're moving, you don't need much power from your hand, and that will cause that uplift. It's very subtle, but you have to study it. It's not big lifts with your hands like people are saying now. Traditional uchikomi doesn't work, or now we need more combative judo or more functional. Guys, it's all in the fundamentals, but you have to study them. And here it's very refreshing to see Abe doing these things. Not only that, but he has another one actually in the works. I'll show it. So here you can see that underhook Uchimata. And here, look at this Tayotoshi. Look at his tsurite. He changes level, punches up, pulls, and then punches down. A lot of people are saying recently with this whole debate thing that, you know, the classical form of tsurite and hikite is the same. You have to curve your elbow upward or sideways only. Here is another competition from the 1950s. The smaller man with the lower level of the height. Look, he can punch up and he can then punch and rotate on the face, like for example Keiji Suzuki also did this. So you see all these classical elements being done. You have this very offensive judo that's happening. It's truly refreshing to see this type of judo, not people concerned with shido and gripping. And you see some good attacks on the international stage for sure, but this offensive spirit can only be found in Japan. I can't wait for the Alljapan with the leg grabs and all that. So here you can see Taiyo Otoshi. Look at how the tsurite is acting. Very rarely you see it today. I was hit with it just last week with this particular form, and I was blown away. Now, look at this Uki Otoshi by Uta Abe. And again, underhook, gets a high grip with the other one, and then gets a ko sotogari, but then rotates with the arms to finish, almost blending it with Uki Otoshi. But you see how she manipulated the grips. They're all traditional. You can also find them in Nage no Kata in the Sutemi section, also the over and underhooks as well. So all these traditional elements found here. I know I don't give the Abe siblings a lot of credit, but damn, they're good. I have a lot of respect for them for sure. I know I'm a big Maruyama fan, and I've talked about him more, but I have a lot of respect for their hard work. Of course, they're beasts, but I, of course, prefer Maruyama's judo. And here she immediately goes for the key lock or arm lock, but her opponent defends. And then her opponent gets back up, immediately goes on the attack. This one, look at this. Immediately. Ankle sweep, or I think, what do you call it in Jiu-Jitsu? Ankle sweep. And then gets the choke and finishes it almost immediately. The fight didn't even last for a minute. So ankle sweep, he turns away to avoid. So look at this. This is from 1920, Oda Tsunetane's book. He shows the ankle sweep. You can see it here. It goes from right to left in Japanese. So you can see him here grabbing the ankles, extending the hips. He falls and then gets on top. So it's again those classical elements and that very dynamic rhythm of Japanese judo, offensive spirit. Again, it was very refreshing to watch all of this. And regardless of who they are, a lot of them, you don't know them, they're not on the international scene, but you really enjoy watching them. And of course, finally, to see here Nagase get knocked out. Again, it's judo, it's grappling. Everyone will lose, regardless of who you are. Someone will come and, humble you. A lot of people talk about humbling, but they don't talk about their humbling experiences or post some of their losses on social media, which is, again, fine. But again, this is what it's all about. Sometimes it's your day, sometimes it's not. A lot of people are saying it's, he finished a big Olympic cycle. It was 9 months ago. He didn't give birth. I think he's just, I don't know, I'm not in his head, but after 2 Olympic golds, now I think he's 33 years old or 32. I think his heart is not in it as it used to. I don't know, but I'm just guessing. But here it's all a great lesson. The fundamentals, the dynamic spirit, the offensive spirit. And here you can see one day is yours, one day it's not. So if you have anything to add, let me know down below. This was Shadi. Thank you for listening.